Welcome to our Meet the Candidates interview series. I have Warren West running for the open seat in downtown Anchorage. How are you doing?
Very good tonight, thank you. And welcome to St. Patty's Day.
Oh, yes, thank you. So I'm going to get right into it. What makes you the most qualified candidate for this assembly seat?
My background makes me the most qualified. That's one thing that hasn't gotten out there yet. I'm retired military, did 20 years Air Force, 14 years as a contractor for the military, ran my own business, manager of Kmart. But in my background, I've got 4 college degrees. I've got one in HR, which lets me work with people. I've got one in logistics to get the right thing to the right place at the right time. I've got one in electronics, which lets me do a flow chart of where the problems are. And once you know that, you can focus in and fix it. And then one in water and wastewater management also. During my time in the Air Force, I was a wing budget officer. I had to put together and maintain day-to-day operations on a $300 million budget. Ours is a $500 million budget, so it's not too much difference. And then writing plans, I was a successful plan writer. I know how to put together plans for the community and plans for the military. So.
If voters agree with you and choose you to represent them, what's the first issue you want to address or first action you want to take as an assembly member?
The very first thing I want to do is assure the voters that I am going to listen to them, okay? First, you go out and listen, you find out what the problems are, which they're pretty vocal on right now. Then I will use my degrees to analyze, and then my HR to work with the other city assembly members closely to make this city the best city we could ever be.
What are your thoughts on the budget the assembly just passed?
It's a reasonable budget. However, they could have adjusted things in different areas. The big issue is we can either have police or snowplows. No, we can have both. It's just where you allocate your funds and allocate your resources to.
How can we have both? What can we shift around?
Well, this is going to sound harsh, but in our social programs, okay, we've had a snowplow budget. And for the last 3 years, as everybody knows, it didn't snow. So they kept reducing it. And this year, it snowed a lot. But they actually took money out of the snowplow budget and put it in the homeless. Homeless is a big problem. It drives up our crime rate. It drives up our social costs. It drives up our medical costs. It's a big issue. However, the fire trucks and the police couldn't get to several areas of town because they didn't plow the roads.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about the homeless issue. What grade would you give the Muni for how it's dealing with homelessness right now?
The mayor has his own unique. That's his calling in life, and he'll probably go to heaven for helping the homeless the way he does. I take a little bit different approach on it. I'd like to bring back all the community members, the nonprofit organizations, the native corporations, and let them work with us to the big native homeless problem. The native corporations have these wonderful facilities, everything. They could help out their own people. The churches are doing a wonderful job. My church has got a big thing for the homeless, and we run the Brother Francis shelter. But like I said, his approach is just take money, throw it at it, and it's quite expensive. Mine is to get all the community involved and really make it so we don't have a homeless problem anymore.
Shift some of that responsibility into the private sector?
Yes, a whole lot of it. It would be beneficial for everyone. The natives would be with their group. The other people would have help and counseling. And, our church runs the refugee program for the city. And we provide lots of homes. I've even had people come to me, refugees come to me, the homeless, and said, we don't have a bed to sleep, we don't have this, and I've given it to them. If I have extra, I give it. So
Moving on to taxes, would you support a sales tax perhaps as a way of diversifying our tax base, taking some of the burden off of property owners?
I am a property owner, and when I had a mortgage, the taxes came out of my mortgage. You never saw it. 90% of the people with mortgages don't even know they're paying a tax. It's just in their mortgage. My tax was $110 more than my actual house payment was, just the taxes. So I'm very familiar with that. I'm not for any new taxes at the moment until we get a handle on our budget and provide the essential services first and seeing what's left over. If we have to, I mean, absolutely have to, there's no way around it anymore, then I'm for a seasonal sales tax. Starts in May, ends in September. That's it. You know, let the Christmas people do their own budgeting. But along with that, I want to assure all the businesses that we're going to come up with a solution to help them set up this program. We're not just going to dump it on their laps, because as a former business owner, when government dumps something on your lap, it's a big expense.
The mayor wants to grow the police force by another 56 officers this fiscal year. Do you think there are other ways the Muni can address public safety concerns in addition to or instead of hiring more officers?
Well, he's already taken up the initiative. I've been talking for quite a while about reallocating our police force. I am very happy they brought the pairs of police back downtown. They just expanded it to the Mountain View area. And I live in the Fairview area, and it's the fifth murder this year was right outside my bedroom window. It's, you know, shots fired every night is a common thing in our neighborhood, and it shouldn't be. But getting back to the police, I fully support the police. I would like to see them do more patrolling and it double, you know, so they always have a backup. And have a community service organization to help notify where there's trouble areas. It's just a reallocation and redistribution, and actually, the biggest problem was SB 51. They took away the penalties for any crime. We've had people get arrested by the police. They book them at the jail. 15 minutes later, a lawyer comes by and says, well, we don't have any money to keep you here, so you have a nice day. And they walk out the back door. That's not right. We need very stiff penalties for the people that are doing it, but we have to look at the root of the problem, too, to help the police. Number one, we lost 9,000 jobs. When you lose the jobs, you lose your self-esteem. Lose your self-esteem, you turn to either alcohol, drugs, or something. You know, some people do, not everybody. Some people pray, give me another job, please. But when you get down to that drug scene, it's just a never-ending cycle. You have to steal to get your drugs. And to get your drugs, you have to steal. And it's just a revolving door. And you know the crime rate that's skyrocketed. 2,700 automobiles stolen last year. You know, the murder rate was the highest we've ever had last year at 39. This year, we're already set to double it. I think we're up to 14 now, so it's only March.
Oh, man. I'm not sure about that one. We'll have to check that number. Another question for you, though, about public safety. The mayor has said that he will not allow our police department to round up refugees for the Immigration Service, even under the threat of losing federal funds. Do you agree or disagree with that?
That's our mayor. It's his call. He runs the department right now. If I was a mayor, the councilmen don't do it, but if I was a mayor, the laws have to be followed. We can't pick and choose which ones we like. Or I'd be rich if I could do that, but unfortunately, no. You have to go with. And he takes an oath to uphold the law, so he should uphold it.
Do you think the city should find a way to allow ride-sharing services like Uber and Lyft to start operating here?
I'd like to start it out with the neighbors being allowed to give people rides. The biggest problem, and I talk with a lot of people out in Eagle River, because that's their big thing out there, that a taxi does not want to go from the airport out to Eagle River because they come home empty, and Eagle River cannot get to town. People can't get to their doctor appointments. They have to have some way of balancing it. Now, I was a medallion holder in Illinois when I was stationed there. I had my own taxi cab company. I did the Chicago airport run. The way it was set up there, the medallion was to provide a service to the people, okay? The way the city assembly set it up here in the past was to give the medallion holders a $100,000 token, which they can buy and sell. And, you know, the service was just to the locals because they didn't want to go outside their area. We do need some competition. We do need to restructure and find some way for the cab owners not to lose their equity in their businesses. But bars closing at night, people from Eagle River outside. I'd like to see a rail system go in with a big ride and park share at both ends. So you could come in from Wasilla, Eagle River, back into Anchorage here. Big parking lot, get your ride share, go to work, come home, go back. That would cut down on that. It takes you 22 minutes to go from Carlick Street to the Airport Heights. 22 minutes on a day. And it's, you know, all that could be cut out.
That'd be something. All right, Warren West running for the open seat in downtown Anchorage. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Best
Thank
of
you
luck.
for inviting me.
Of course.